How's it going, everybody? Sessiion here. Welcome to the Dead by Daylight March 2023 developer update released this morning. And today we're going to be going through the Tools of Torment mid-chapter update, basically coming up soon. So they're going to be doing an update kind of to cover a lot of the things that we're going to be looking forward to and kind of to keep an eye out for the game as a whole. And I think that it's actually pretty important since the game has been going through kind of a really weird phase throughout this month. And so, I know that the skill merchant's out, we have a new map, we have new survivors, new perks, all new stuff going on throughout the majority of this game, and it's been going through quite a bit actually. We get the PTB, we had the tweaks, we had a couple of moments where things were a little bit haywire, but hopefully the developer update will give us a little bit of more insight as to what's to come, and seeing a bunch of changes, because usually this means that something is getting nerfed, something is getting crazy buffed, and they're going to add a bunch of changes that are going to be heavily debated throughout all the comments and all the forums and all that kind of stuff too. So check this out, and let's just get straight into it. So the mid-chapter update is quickly approaching, so that means that we got the developer update. So we're going to get some big changes of additions to make to the game, and so let's check it out. So Blood Web improvement. So I know I saw this before on the Twitter, and that was really cool, and I actually really like what they're doing with it as well. So of course, whenever they actually implemented that change for the blood webbing to be able to, you get more points for doing a lot of stuff, I actually like that they've done that, right? And then they reworked how the prestiging system works, which is also really cool. So I like that they're kind of starting to like simplify a lot of things, and also just make things a little bit more automatic and more just user friendly for those who just really don't want to sit there and do what they got to do. So what I actually like is they have the blood web chain. First edition is very simple. Select any node in the game will automatically buy anything needed to along the way. That's actually really cool. I like that a lot, actually, because I don't necessarily want to say the word hate, but to sit there and manually pick and choose the things that I want, usually it's only one thing that I want, especially when I have every perk for a character, that I just want, like either that purple medkit or that ultra rare add-on for the flashlight bulb, and then just want that one thing. Everything after that, I'm kind of like whatever. So that totally is nice to know that they have this feature implemented. So you can purchase multiple nodes with a single button press, and ensures that you get exactly what you want. But as always, the entity ever present and consume one of the nodes before the chain can be completed. Okay. And then automatic purchasing. If you're looking to just level up your character quickly, cheaply, don't care what you get the new center node in the blood web. Is perfect. Yeah, so I saw this thing, and the thing is really cool actually. I think that there's still something weird with it though, because it kind of sort of isn't any faster in terms of getting what you want. It just does it for you, which is cool, because the entity still takes stuff, of course, as well. I think the idea is if they could just make it a lot faster, that'd be good. I think that's what it might be boiling down to, though. Otherwise, though, that's really cool. I like that they perfectly just automatically do and pick whatever that I want, and I don't really give a crap. So that's fun. Parts are the cheapest option available whenever possible. Oh, so that's actually kind of something worth noting too, though. So okay, that's cool. So you gotta manually purchase whatever you want out of interest, like perks or purple add-ons. So that makes sense. Okay, that's cool. I like the automatic purchase, but I most importantly like the blood web chaining. You can, if I just pick like that septic agent, I can just get that and it'll guarantee give me that. I actually like that the most, for sure. Press to buy by default, hold button to purchase a node. That looks really interesting. With this help prevent misclicks, sometimes you want to watch the blood points fly from the pocket at an alarming rate. Okay, cool. So a visual tear radius. Oh, is it like an accessibility thing? Tear radius is an integral part of the game. Both warnings for about approaching the killer and activating multiple perks. This can make things difficult for our deaf and hard of hearing players, since there is no visual representation for tear radius strength, forcing them to use perks that which work in tear radius as an alternative. That makes sense. So that's a really, honestly, that's a really good thing that they've implemented. I think the crazier thing is too is that even though this is going to be an accessibility thing, it's going to also be very good for players who, like, even if you don't have it, like, it just, like, the visual representation for it is going to be nice. Because I mean, I guess it does give you both at the same time. It's not like a one or the other option. So even though this is like a visual tear rate, like some people are visual learners, so visual learners are going to be able to just function better versus auditorial. So I think that that's going to be really kind of some really big brain play right there. Yeah, so it'll force them to use perks that work in a tear radius as an alternative. This of course is not ideal, so we want everyone to be able to use the perks that they'd like to, and not be forced to use other ones that are access the port. Yeah, so it's cool. So when enabled in the accessibility options, a heart will appear in your server's chest whenever the killer is. Oh, the radius can be heard. Okay, so that's just permanently out all the time. I like that. Lullabies will also appear as a haze in their chest. Ooh, okay. For hunters, I'm guessing. The heart will become more vibrant and beat more intensely the closer the killer comes to you. If your character is ever off screen, an indicator will appear if the terror radius is heard, signaling that you should look at your character to see the current state of terror radius. Okay. Oh, and they also changes by colorblindness settings? Oh, that's actually sick. Okay, I think that's really cool that they appeal to that. That's a really great idea, actually. So, that's fun. It doesn't provide a competitive advantage compared to the usual audio terror radius. See, that's where you're like not kind of technically wrong, but like you're kind of technically wrong. Because the thing is, like I said, people may not immediately want to, like, you know, the audio might not be the immediate way, but like, because like if you could imagine like not playing with headphones, and if I'm playing on like my television and it's like further away, you know, if I can't, if I have the volume low or it's not high enough or anything like that, then you know the visual terror radius works for that as well. It's just gonna make it a lot more. You have more variety essentially in being able to detect the terror radius of the killer in any case scenario that it can be heard. So the fact that this just visually exists as it is a really, really good idea. I mean, I'm very glad that they implemented this as a function just in general, especially for as an accessibility option. So this is a huge W right here, especially because they even added color blind effects to it too. Even without, like, you know, they didn't add this and then add this as an effect. They both came as a package. I think that's a huge W. So Auto Haven Records map updates. Ooh, okay. Blood Lodge and Gas Heaven. Blood Lodge can be a bit of a mixed bag. Depending on how the map generates, there can be plenty of safe pallets near the center or very few, either creating a very safe area or a dead zone. You know, I've actually always, I've realized that, and I didn't think too much about it because I don't know. I feel like whenever I play that map, I usually gravitate towards the outer layers of the map because there's never any reason for me to go through the middle unless I'm just trying to like cut time. But other than that, though, I never like going through the middle of Blood Lodge. I always like to go around the outskirts. It just seems more because the middle is always so open, you know. So this actually makes so much. I didn't really think about this too frequently until I just read that sentence. So that's interesting. Area also has very few lines of sight blockers, which can make it difficult for stealthy killers to sneak up on survivors. See, that's why I think I use the sides too. Around the edge of the map, on the other hand, features several maze tiles, high walls, and pallets or windows. That, however, survivors can combine these tiles to create strong illusion, making them very difficult to catch. Truth. To remedy this, they're making significant layout changes to the map. The Blood Lodge itself will now appear closer to the center of the map, breaking line of sight and separating some of these safer loops. Okay. Maze tiles also been separated from one another, making it more difficult to blend them together. W. Okay. Gas Heaven features more unique car piles which stretch several tiles long. Yeah. Okay. Survivor, these special tiles can get in the way of gameplay, however, making it difficult to traverse the map. Chasing a survivor on these walls or cars will waste a lot of time to start chasing a significant lead. Okay. Going forward, the car piles will be broken up into smaller single tile chunks. These car piles will also feature potential spawn locations for pallets, helping reduce potential. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, because I know that this has always been one that's there. Like that pallet going over this part of the thing is actually smart. It almost looks like it even like is between that car kind of, but I don't know. Okay. Gas station itself has also been removed closer to the center of the map. This makes the building much easier to get to from anywhere on the map. We reviewed the spawning rules to prevent strong combinations of windows from spawning in just its palette locations. Okay. Throughout the development, some of these changes will spill over into the remaining Auto Heaven Records maps, including new edge tiles, some of which include new gameplay as possible spawn locations. Okay. Sorry, I'm like rambling. Oh, that medkit thing scares me, actually. I think they're going to nerf the crap out of healing. Which also means that they're probably going to nerf Boone's Circle of Healing. My guess is that with Circle of Healing, you can't heal in the circle anymore. That's my early guess. So, let's see. There's no better way to avoid being put in a hook than healing your injuries. Even if the killer is relentless, an extra health state can buy your team more time to work on generators. Having easy access to quick and plentiful heals can cause problems, particularly for highly skilled survivors who can evade the killer for quite some time. An emergency medkit alone can heal the damage done after a long chase in roughly 10 seconds. This doesn't even begin to factor all of the person add-ons, which can speed up healing and even further get more heals before your medkit is depleted. Truth. For killers, it means that any chase doesn't end with a hook, even if they manage to damage a survivor. completely be undone in a matter of seconds. Well, yeah, because I mean it's a medkit. So the problem though is that it's the ultra rare add-on. That add-on being able to heal you in 10 seconds is really rough. Actually, I actually understand that though. I would just take that one out because manually healing in front of the killer is like a dangerous move and like really tough to do. Also, keeping survivors injured and switching targets are often wise decisions. Okay, we have a few changes in store for healing to make this more practical. First, healing will now take 24 seconds by default. Oh man. Okay, previously 16. Okay, that's a lot actually, like a lot of time. This will make each hit more impactful. See, that's I don't know if I dislike that or not. I just don't know if I like that it's gonna take, because healing in general will take 24 seconds. So here's what I've been noticing across the board is that the game is trying to forcibly make this game more cooperatively required than before. Like soloing in this game, as a solo player, soloing in this game was definitely easier in the past. It's getting extremely difficult, especially now, and this game is sort of kind of requiring you to play with friends in a way. And I think that healing thing alone is already making that impact seem like a requirement is in need. This is why I think that they're going to nerf circle healing and not let you heal in a circle. Because now the only effective way to heal in this game is to be healed by another person because it's just faster. And if they have a medkit, that's also going to be even faster. So I don't know if I like that they made, because I think what they're going to end up doing is that, like with higher rarity medkits, like you can't heal yourself faster. It's only going to be applied to other people. This is just my guess. So let's see. Second, we rebalance medkits across the board. All medkits now have 24 charges by default, allowing one heal before they're depleted. Oh, they're all the same. See, okay, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so the common medkit increases altruistic healing speed by 20%. Was 25, so they nerfed that. So it's easier. Okay. So it takes actually, if you think about it, it takes even longer to heal somebody else with this medkit. First aid kit is the yellow one, increases the speed by 25. Okay, so now emergency rare kit is the rare one, increases speed by 30. It was 50, and it no longer increases the speed at which you heal yourself. There it is. Yep. And then the very rare the ranger med kit increases the healing speed by 35%. It was 50. Increases the skill check successes by 10%. It was 14, and then the great is 10 from 15. See, so yeah, there's no reason to heal yourself with any medkit except for the purple one. All of the other medkits don't. I mean, because healing yourself, I don't really think that because healing yourself with these three are just going to be kind of irrelevant. Even if with the add-ons, like you don't want to use add-ons with a medkit just to heal yourself. You're going to need to have other people heal you, pretty sure. So I don't. This is the first like big nerf, because this is a widespread nerf across the board for literally every player that plays Survivor, universally speaking. So that's going to be really weird to see how it implements as a change. I don't really know yet though, so we'll see. Lastly, we're going to pass on medkit add-ons, bringing those which are overperforming in line with the rest. Add-ons which add more charges to medkit has been reviewed with the new healing time in mind. Though it's now impossible for a medkit to fully heal Survivor more than twice in a match. That's not good. I don't want to say that. Here's the thing though, I don't want to say that medkits are overpowered. I just think that people who know how to be smart with medkits are able to be smart with medkits and really capitalize on the affectation of it a lot. Like for me, for example, I don't ever use a medkit on myself in full. I usually let somebody heal me, and then I don't fully get healed, right? Or I use it as like an emergency scenario. Like I usually use the medkit in spurts. I don't use it in full. So now the punishment for using the medkit in full on yourself is extremely bad. So you have to be healed by somebody else, essentially. I think this is going to become that moment in time where like healing as a meta is no longer going to become like a meta. It's going to be like a detriment. So now there's going to be a new thing that's going to take over. I'm going to assume that it's going to be the toolbox. Toolboxes might be making the resurgence that they've... I mean, toolboxes have already been powerful from a very long time ago, but I think they're going to be more required now. So, because this update is going to pretty much give the impression that killers are going to guarantee be able to catch people at a higher level, but that's not going to help the lower level. We'll see. We're not done yet. There's the perk updates. Okay, so moving on to perks, we have a bunch of tweaks that are updating both meta and non-meta options. Fingers crossed. Okay, Gearhead. First up, currently reveals the aura of Survivor next to a great skill check after Survivor loses the health state. Yeah. These conditions require a bit of time will work and luck on the killer's part to get the value out of it. Now Gearhead will receive a slight rework. When a survivor loses a health state, Gearhead activates for 30 seconds. While active, any survivor who hits a good skill check will have their aura revealed to the killer for 8 seconds. Okay. So they basically changed it from great to good. Okay. So Gearhead is going to become a very, very good information perk. But here's the thing though. Gearhead is going to be so good, but I think it's going to be used a little less frequently than this version. Not because of the rework also being a buff, but more so because people are going to be broken for longer because of the healing that exists. So I wonder how much of a change this is going to actually implement. Gearhead's a very good perk though. I see it all the time. But I don't know yet. Let's keep reading. Overzealous. Oh, please be a nerf. Or rather a buff. Sorry. I need to be a buff. Grants repair speed when cleansing a totem and a larger bonus when cleansing a hex totem. I know. I hate that it's only cleansing. Little do you know that skirmishes would cause between boon lovers out there. Moving forward, Overzealous will auto activate. Oh, thank goodness. When blessing a totem in addition to cleansing. We also slightly upgraded the... Oh, the bonus went up to 10%. Oh, okay. Overzealous is about to be my perk. Okay, that's good. Pain Res. Perk is gradually finding its way back into the meta. To address this, we're giving Scourge Hook slight rework. The pain starts with perks with 4 tokens. First time each survivor is hooked on a hook, the generator with the most progress, Scourge Hooks, by the way, will explode and lose progress. Oh, so it's not every gen anymore. It's just the one with the most progress. Okay. They reduce the difference in the perks. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, so then it's now just the Cenobite version of that perk. What's that one called? I forget what it's called. But if a gen gets cleansed, the gen with the most progress will just get blocked by the entity. This one will just explode that one. So I think that those two perks now will probably be used in like conjunction with each other. I don't know. Pain Res definitely got a nerf. Which we'll see. Pain Res is a very powerful perk though, so I don't really know what to expect from it. Dead Hard, they're definitely nerfing the crap out of this one. Initially fell from grace after the 6.1.0 update, truth. It slowly climbed back to being one of the most prominent server perks. Dead Hard already requires some precision to use, and further reducing the invulnerability will make it too unreliable and frustrating. Therefore, Dead Hard has also received slight rework. The rework includes Dead Hard will activate after safely unhooking a survivor. Wow, that's a change. When activated, press the ability button to while injured and running to gain endurance for half a second and then become exhausted. It'll activate. So they changed it so that you don't get to just use it when you're injured. You can only use it after you unhook a person. So that means that the perk is dead. The perk has to be dead because the thing about Dead Hard that was always so frustratingly powerful to some killers is that if the timing for it was applicable in a way that it worked, then you usually had to get 3 hits on a person even on their first chase. So now you can't even do that. You can only do it if you're the second person to get chased after you unhook the first person. So the usage of Dead Hard is going to be very insignificant. It's going to be so minorly used by comparison, not compare, in conjunction to the current version of it. I mean, the old version was actually OP because you get the dash and the invincibility. Now you just had the run, and now you can only do it after you unhook a person. That means that you can only use Dead Hard 8 times in total as a team throughout the entirety of the game, right? Yeah, that's not good. But the perk is dead. It should be. So you got to earn the perk to use it. I get it though. Like you do have to like. Yeah, but I still think that here's the thing: we're not done with the perks yet. Obviously, they're kind of bouncing between killer and survivor perks. I do expect them to still buff the killers in some way, shape, and form, where the frustration of not having Dead Hard is going to become a bit of a problem. Not that you need Dead Hard, because I don't use Dead Hard, but you know, the time that it takes for killers to kill survivors is going to be significantly sooner now, just because of this alone. But we'll see. Call O'Brien rose in popularity following the meta shakeup last year, granting a large increase in regression rate of generators. It's not uncommon for generators to fully regress when a survivor has chased away from it. So to turn on the power, they reduced the additional regression speed to 125. It was 200. Okay. Okay. That's okay. The thing is that Call O'Brien, here's the thing. I think Call O'Brien as a perk as a whole wasn't. It was okay. It was powerful. Like it was a very powerful perk, but I think Call O'Brien alone wasn't like the thing that was the most powerful per se. I think the thing behind Call O'Brien is that it was combined with Overcharge and other regression perks because they were stacked together. So a 250% regression that increased up to 200 eventually became a 400% regression on a generator. Yeah, that gen went from 99 to 0 in like a matter of seconds, which was dangerous. So I think alone this perk was not terrible, but of course combined with others, it was extremely powerful. So them regressing this or nerfing this perk is not. It's okay, I guess. I don't know if it was like extremely necessary. We'll see. Overcharge. Similar to Call O'Brien, Overcharge saw familiar rise in power over the past year. Perk also increases the regression rate of generators pretty substantially. So to bring it in line with other perks, they reduce the maximum regression to 130 from 200. Okay, so now the most that you can do with both of these perks together is 255% instead of 400. So it would take longer for the regression rate to become beneficial. So at the same time, they increase the regression speed to 80% to help offset it. Okay. Additionally, the penalty for missing a skill check has been reduced to 2 to 4% versus 3 to 5. Okay, I mean that's not terrible. Here it is. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna change this perk so you can't heal by yourself in the circle. Guaranteed. Calling it. The perk has become the jack of all trades of healing perks. Not only does it allow you and your fellow survivors to heal without a medkit, there it is. It also increases the speed in which you heal across the board. So going forward, circle healing will no longer allow survivors to heal without a medkit. There you go. It's interesting. It will provide a 50% healing speed bonus to others. Okay, but doesn't it already do that? Right? I think it already does that. So they just got rid of the ability to heal yourself without a medkit. The bonus not applied to healing done with a medkit. Of course not. Additionally, the auras of injured survivors with the boon's range will be revealed to all other survivors. Okay, so then if you're... See, that's the change that this perk has needed for the long... Well, not... Okay, let me rephrase that. Healing without a medkit in the circle of healing is so, like, not good. Because here's the thing. The thing is that, like, with the boon, this perk is also dead, essentially speaking. Because people... Like I said, the necessity of playing this game as a solo player is going to be very, very difficult because I used Circle of Healing for quite a bit, and I liked it a lot. And I like the part that I can use it to heal myself without a medkit or with a medkit even because I use both. In order to just survive longer because I get chased by the killer and usually there's nothing that you can like once the killer has you on their sight, like there's not really too much you can do unless there's like user error from the killer side and they can't catch you, but that doesn't happen often enough. So I think that the circle of healing, I don't think that it should have removed the ability to heal without a medkit. I think it should have just reduced the speed in which you heal because I kid you not, I'm gonna say it to you right now, self-care is about to be a better perk to run versus this perk, even though self-care is terrible. And circle healing is probably going to be like a mid, it might even be a low tier perk, just because like there's no point to, because like you got to think of it this way. If you take the boon and you cleanse it, or bless it rather, with this perk, the amount of time it takes to bless somebody, or to bless the perk and then heal somebody, if it's not faster than just healing the person, then there's no reason to bring this perk. You know what I mean? So let's like, because and especially because again, they're increasing the speed or the time it takes to heal a person in general, right? So if it takes 24 seconds to heal a person, right, technically speaking, it would take 12 seconds to heal them if they were in circle. But if you have circle, you can't even use a med kit with circle, so it only works without a med kit, right? So I can't combine circle with a med kit and use it to heal people. I have to specifically just use circle or a med kit. The speed is only going to be most 12%, or like I think it's like 20 seconds, right? 20 seconds or 12 seconds to heal somebody, whatever. So I don't like that this perk is going to go through what's going to go through, because people are going to realize that this perk will go from being, I don't even think it's the most used perk. It's heavily used. It was very powerful, but this version of the perk I think is going to be completely just, I'm not going to use this perk anymore, because I'd rather use other perks that guarantee my usage. Because for me to bless a totem just to increase healing speed and see people who are injured in it doesn't make sense. I'd rather use like empathy, where I can always see people who are injured, right? And like botany, where I can always heal at this rate without, like, that's what it is. This is essentially, you put botany and empathy inside of a circle. That's what it does. So I don't like this change, but we'll have to see how the populace feels once this all gets implemented. Killer updates. Oh man. Starting with the mid-chapter, with includes a bunch of small tweaks of various killers in each update. This will be smaller scale than the reworks done in the past, focusing more on number of tweaks than new features or significant changes. Larger reworks are still planned, but we still want to show some results of growing roster along the way. Okay. Hillbilly. Start your chainsaws and don't worry about them overheating. We adjusted the Hillbilly's overheat mechanic to be much more forgiving. The amount of heat generated from both starting to rev and continue to rev the chainsaw has been reduced dramatically, making the overheat mechanic almost a non-factor when used in loops or over short distances. Okay. Much akin to how I used to play. Just as before, heat will begin to dissipate as soon as the chainsaw sprint ends, meaning most of the heat generated from a short burst will already be gone by the time chainsaw is ready for another attack. That's okay. I think that Hillbilly is going to be a very dangerous. So here's what I think that this means. I think what this means is that Hillbilly crossing like long distance is going to be reduced, but Hillbilly's like effectiveness of being able to kill people with the chainsaw up close is going to be a lot easier. Even if you miss hits, the recovery and the ability to re-rev the chainsaw is going to be obnoxiously dangerous. So this is going to remind me a little bit of how Bubba functions with his own chainsaw, right? But the difference is, of course, that Bubba has free reign to like kind of move about. He has the ability to just move quickly in straight lines. So they are very similar by function now in terms of using the chainsaw, but I think that Hillbilly is going to jump up and become like a high level contender as a killer. So we'll see. Okay. Last but not least, they toned down Doom engravings and Death engraving add-ons. These will provide less movement speed than before, but increase the heat generation further. Yeah. So, oh man, I actually don't like that though, because that's how people played stealthy Hillbilly, and that was scary as heck, and I liked it. See, all right. The pig. John's medical file add-on increases the pig's crouch movement speed. This add-on hasn't been performing very well, so they decided to nerf the pig. Increase its movement speed bonus to 10%. Oh, okay. I never see the add-on. I don't even see the pig. This is a thing. Okay. Oni. Two of the Oni's add-ons, Blackened Toenail and Bloody Sash, allow them to move faster while observing orbs, losing less ground in the process. These add-ons weren't performing very well as we'd like to, so they had given us some slight improvements. They increased the movement speed by 0.1 meter per second. Okay, I see. So 0.4 and 0.7 versus 0.3 and 0.6. Okay, well, the thing is that he can now, can he use both of these together and now move 1.1 meter per second, right, instead of 0.9? I feel like that might be a big difference, actually. Nightmare. Sheep block and unicorn block add-ons inflict blindness on survivors who trigger dream snares or dream palettes. These add-ons were not performing very well, so they increased the duration of the blindness effect by 30 seconds. Damn, okay. I don't usually see Freddy running around too often. Okay. We'll see. Executioner. Scarlet A add-on increases duration of the killer instinct inflicted by rights of judgment by 1.5 seconds. This doesn't provide much value to the killer since it only positions periodically, so to make it more meaningful, it increases to 3 seconds. Okay, that's fine. Clown. Red-headed pinky finger. Oh, man. It can be incredibly powerful, allowing the clown to instantly down a survivor after hitting them directly with the bottle. They toned down this one before by reducing the number of bottles it can hold, but it seems like the downside has not been enough to bring it to in line with other ultra rare add-ons. So going forward, they reduce it by from 3 to 2. Okay, cool. Flashlight, bright light interaction removal. Oh. I think I know what this means without even reading what I think that it's going to mean, and I think I'm going to hate this thing. I'm going to hate this change the most, I think, out of this entire update. Let's see. When DVD first released, only 3 killers were in the game. It wasn't unreasonable to bring a toolbox in case you face off against a trapper, or a flashlight to burn the ray. Yep, that right there is exactly what I think it means. When it was a 1 in 3 chance, but as the killer roster has grown, these mechanics have started to feel out of place. The majority of killers do not have any interactions with survivor items, leading to the ones that you do not. Wait, do you do? Sorry, I totally botched that because I'm panicking because of this line. Leading to the ones that do feeling unfairly punished by something beyond their control. In the past, we removed the ability to sabotage the trapper's bear traps to alleviate this issue. In this update, we'll be removing flashlight interactions with various killer powers, since these actions are not very well known, because people don't know, and there's not like an obvious assumption to do so. That's not good. So the Wraith. We remove the ability to burn the Wraith out of his cloak. This would also stun him in the process. That is the worst thing I've ever heard this entire update, because I'm gonna be very biased. I hate the Wraith. In my mind, there's no way to counter the Wraith besides running away near a potential window or pallet, right? But if you're not sure how to deal with that scenario, then you're gonna just throw the window or pallet down or over or whatever and get out of the way. But the Wraith has this ability where they can basically cancel the uncloak, which means that if you're in the middle of doing that action, he can just cancel the uncloak and then go back to recloak, and then he can catch you. So the fact that you can't remove him out of his cloak anymore, Wraith is going to immediately become the strongest killer in the entire game. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because one, I think honestly, if a Wraith has Sloppy Butcher, he can kill everybody without any issue. Because healing will take significantly longer. He can catch up to people. You can't burn him. You can't do anything to him. Because even if you flashlight stun him while he's cloaked, he just gets blind, and that's literally it. You can't burn him. I hate this the most. Similar to the Wraith, the nurse could also be burned while blinking. This didn't come up very often since it was very risky and difficult to pull off, but it's also being removed. Cool. Yeah, but it's still. I think that the Wraith and the nurse just became number 1 and number 2. Okay. Artist. Survivors could shine a flashlight on crows to scare them away. See, okay, here's the thing. Truly speaking, as a Survivor player, I did not know that you can even do this, but there isn't ever a reason to do this. But having the option is nice to know now that I can read this and it says that I could have done that. But they're taking it away, so now it doesn't matter. Cool. The Hag. Oh my god. Arguably the most powerful, or impactful rather. Flashlights have been the sole counters to Hag's phantasm traps. Not only could they reveal the aura of nearby traps, but a flashlight on the trap could destroy it. Removing the flashlight effect from the hag's power is a little trickier since it would leave survivors with no option but to set the trap and risk the hag teleporting to it. To ensure that this doesn't make the hag too oppressive, we're adding the ability to wipe away a phantasm trap. In order to do so, survivors need to spot the trap, crouch over it to avoid setting it off, and then perform several seconds long action to clear it. This will allow all survivors to clear traps, and it'll be much more difficult and time consuming to do so. It also prevents the flashlight survivor from destroying the hag's traps mid-chase. Okay, so the hag... Here's the problem, I think, with this. This isn't a terrible thing by concept, but it's definitely a mess in practice, because if you can't easily... Because the hag is going to be able to play on maps where they use that add-on where they know somebody is near a trap, but now there's no way to know without at least walking over it or at least spotting it. Well, the thing is, like, if you play against a hag on certain maps, you have the ability to cover a lot of ground running across the maps to kind of do stuff action wise, generators, healing, whatever have you. And the hag sort of has to just wait. 3-genning against a hag is an impossible win, guaranteed. Like, you just can't win, so there's no way. But when you find out that there's a 3-gen situation and the hag has traps all over all 3 gens, then you literally have to play the game extremely slow and careful, or play dangerous and then have one person play, you know, the bait and then get all the traps out of the way, get the chase on, and then have the other people basically try to... But the thing is, a hag will never do that, though, because they're just going to reset the traps that the person took the time out of their day to go get rid of. Plus, there is that one add-on where the traps don't get triggered unless the hag goes to them, right? So it's now, I think, literally Wraith, Nurse, and Hag just became like 1, 2, and 3. Because to slow down the pacing of the game and have people deliberately take the time to wipe away a trap. Here's the question, though: if the hag gets notified that this is happening in any way, that's not good. If the hag doesn't get informed, then that's not terrible. But the thing is that the hag will always get informed, but not directly. Because let's say, for example, the hag has 5 traps out, and if you wipe it away, the hag will get a trap back. So you're gonna know as a hag player that you got your trap wiped somewhere. So instead of, if no one triggers it deliberately, then you just go to it and you just go check. So I don't know if I like that. The thing is, like, yeah, having a flashlight against a hag is definitely like it kind of prevents hag from needing to bring like Franklin's in case there's a flashlight. But now the killer doesn't have a reason to bring Franklin's, even if we don't bring flashlights. Also, if I find a flashlight in the middle of the map and it's in a chest, then using it is now kind of irrelevant, right? So I don't know if I think that this was the weird... It's a weird way to really see, because you can't use a flashlight to get rid of it. You can, like, it'll still trigger. Like, if a hag puts a trap down and you walk over it, it'll still explode and jump scare you. You can crouch over it and you can get rid of it, but it tells the killer that the trap got removed. You just can't use a flashlight to do so. So you gotta be closer to it to do that, which makes it more dangerous if there's more than one trap in the same area. See, so that's why I'm not too sure about how I feel about that change. So we'll see. The Deep Rift and beyond. Last year, the deeper level of the Rift was revealed, allowing players who had already reached tier 70 to go above and beyond to continue progressing to earn alternate versions of outfits. Starting with the tools of the tournament chapter update, it'll feature unique visuals to better differentiate the bonus Deep Rift tiers on the regular Rift. As for tomes, new trend emerging where most recent chapter lore is expanded in the following tome. It's no coincidence, this is something we'll be doing for all new original chapters moving forward. This will allow us to expand further on the most recently introduced characters' lore in a more natural and exciting way. Licensed chapters, meanwhile, may be an exception to this. While we would love to expand upon their stories we have done in the past, like the Ghostface or for Bill, come from characters on their own with their own stories to tell. Therefore, tomes follow licensed characters may feature existing original characters instead. Okay, and that's the end. Okay, here's a summary. Healing has been nerfed to the ground really, really, really harshly. Healing is going to be complicated. because I think, like I said, I think now bringing medkits is not going to become fruitful. I don't think at all. Um, it takes longer. That's the thing. They nerfed. Let me see. They buffed Gearhead. Yeah, Gearhead is the only perk that got buffed. They nerfed. No, sorry. They buffed Gearhead. They reworked and technically buffed Overzealous. Sorry, truth. They nerfed Pain Res, Dead Hard, Colorblind, and Overcharge, and Circle of Healing. The top 5 perks I think that are in the game currently have all been nerfed like severely. And they also, like I said, my number one change that I hate the most out of this is the Wraith. Truly, I think so. I think so. I think I hate the Wraith change the most out of all these changes. I hate the healing change too because I use a healing kit build, but like thankfully the perks that I use for my healing kit build is not impactful. Like they haven't been affected by this change. But using a medkit is so dangerous. Like I said, the thing that's happening with this game as a whole is that I'm starting to dislike the idea that I have to play this game in a much more cooperative manner than I used to. Not that I don't like playing with friends or nothing like that, but like most of the time I'm playing solo. So I can't rely on my own resources to heal myself without without using all of my resources. See, that's what I don't like. And it wasn't overpowered for me to do that also. It was a nice, comfortable way to live in the game. But now that's just out of the window. So I don't, like I said, I don't particularly like that. But I think again the number one thing that I hate the most is that the Wraith can't be, because now the question is like how do you counter a smart Wraith? You know, I don't have the answer to that. Because the only way that I could have countered a Wraith was to go near a building. Because like the Wraith is a killer that I don't ever want to deal with personally, and I don't have a counter to that killer outside of a flashlight, and now I don't have the flashlight, so now I have nothing. And I think a lot of people might feel the same way about this too. So it's going to depend. We'll see how the game plays out. Let me know what you think. I'm very curious to see what everyone is thinking about this, because I don't know. It's a very mixed bag of situations. I really hope that they don't undo anything because of what people are saying or not saying, but it's going to depend on how it kind of all plays itself out. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoy the game in the new state of mind when the update comes out, and hopefully we can get ourselves into some more fun DBD games. So thank you for watching. Take care.